First Blood. The incident at Centauri Prime. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of Centauri Prime Station, watching the iridescent dance of quantum ships arriving for the Galactic Council's Millennial Summit. After 200 years of humanity's supervised integration into galactic society, Earth had finally earned the right to propose amendments to the Council's ancient laws. Or so they thought. Her daughter Maya, 12 years old and already showing promise as a xenolinguist, pressed her hands against the transparent metamaterial of the viewport. "Mom, look. The Vrel ships are changing colors again." The crystalline vessels of the silicon-based species pulsed with patterns of light, their form of diplomatic greeting. Sarah smiled, though her heart felt heavy. Today's proposal would challenge the Council's most sacred tenet, the Genetic Sovereignty Act. The law that had kept humanity confined to their solar system, prevented them from terraforming worlds, and restricted their population growth. All in the name of protecting the galaxy's genetic diversity. Ambassador Chen. The voice came from behind her, musical and precise. High Arbiter XXX of the Vrel consciousness had approached silently, its crystalline form refracting the station's light. "We trust you have reconsidered your species' proposal." Sarah straightened her back, years of diplomatic training taking over. "High Arbiter, humanity's position remains unchanged. The Genetic Sovereignty Act's restrictions on terraforming have already cost millions of lives in our overcrowded colonies. We seek only reasonable amendments." The Vrel's colors shifted to deep ultraviolet, a spectrum Sarah could only see through her neural implants. "The laws preserve order. They have done so for 50 million years. Your species is young, impetuous. You do not understand the consequences of genetic drift on a galactic scale." Maya, always curious, turned from the viewport. "But High Arbiter, Earth scientists have proven that controlled terraforming doesn't impact indigenous microbial evolution. We've developed methods that—" "Maya," Sarah interrupted gently, but it was too late. The Vrel's crystalline surface had already darkened, a sign of grave offense. "You permit your offspring to address a High Arbiter." Its tone had shifted to something ancient and cold. "This demonstrates precisely why the act must remain unchanged. Your species lacks proper respect for cosmic order." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. "My daughter meant no disrespect. She is merely passionate about." The station's lights flickered as a massive ship dropped out of quantum space directly above the diplomatic sector. Its surface was impossible to focus on, seeming to bend reality around it. The Predsi had arrived. The Predsi, the oldest known species in the galaxy, rarely attended council meetings. Their presence today confirmed Sarah's worst fears. This wasn't going to be a debate. It was going to be a trial. "The session begins in 1 hour, the Vrel announced. "We suggest you use this time to withdraw your proposal. Some laws cannot be challenged without consequences." As the High Arbiter glided away, Sarah pulled Maya close. She activated her quantum-encrypted neural link to Earth Command. "They're all here. The Predsi, the Vrel consciousness, even the Skek Hive. This isn't a summit, it's a show of force." The response came instantly. "Understood. Ambassador. Maintain position. The Lazarus Protocol remains on standby." Maya looked up at her mother, brown eyes wise beyond their years. "They're not going to let us expand, are they? They're scared of us." Sarah stroked her daughter's hair, watching as more council ships arrived, each more alien and powerful than the last. "No, sweetheart, they're not going to let us expand." She paused, remembering the classified briefings, the centuries of careful preparation. But they should be scared. The council chamber was a marvel of alien architecture. A vast dome of living crystal housed 300 species representatives, arranged in ascending rings of importance. Humanity's seat was near the bottom, barely above the pre-FTL observer species. Sarah took her place, Maya seated behind her as was traditional for primary heirs. The chamber hummed with crystalline resonance as the Predsi elder began the session, its thought voice penetrating every mind present. The council has convened to address humanity's proposed amendments to the sacred laws. But first, we must discuss a grave matter. Our precognitive matrices have detected a discontinuity, a future where the cosmic order is disrupted. Sarah's neural implant buzzed. Lazarus protocol activation codes received. Await final authorization. The Predsi elder's form shifted, tendrils of probability manipulation visible around its core. We have seen this pattern before, when the Skik attempted military expansion. When the Vrel sought to seed their crystal consciousness across multiple galaxies, each time the Council preserved order, through whatever means necessary. Sarah stood, her voice clear and strong. The Council claims to represent all sapient life, yet Earth's population suffers under arbitrary restrictions. We've proven our terraforming methods are safe. We've shown. You have shown defiance. The Vrel High Arbiter interrupted. Even now, your offspring displays the same disregard for cosmic hierarchy that threatens galactic stability. Maya stood up. That's not true. We followed every law, every restriction. We just want. The chamber erupted in alien sounds of shock and outrage. A child speaking in council. Unprecedented. Unforgivable. The Predsi elder raised its probability manipulators. The pattern is clear. The disorder must be excised. Sarah's neural implant screamed a warning, but she was already moving, trying to reach Maya. The probability field enveloped her daughter before she could get there. Maya had time for one last look of confusion before the field collapsed, erasing her from existence with mathematical precision. The chamber fell silent. Sarah's scream echoed off the living crystal walls. Her neural implant flashed. Lazarus protocol authorized. Ghost fleet awakening. Get to extraction point immediately. But Sarah wasn't listening. She stood in the center of the council chamber, her daughter's atomic scattered around her, and made her choice. Her neural implant contained a quantum-linked dead man switch. If her life signs ceased, certain files would automatically decrypt on every computing system in council space. You want to know why you saw a discontinuity in your precious cosmic order? Her voice was steel and ice. Because humanity never showed you our true capabilities. We played weak. We played obedient. We let you think you had us contained. She reached for the override in her brain. You shouldn't have killed my daughter. The Predsi elder's probability manipulators writhed. Ambassador Chen, your life signs indicate. Ghost protocol initiated, Sarah said clearly. And now, the galaxy learns why humanity chose to play nice. She activated the neural override. In her last moment of consciousness, as classified files unlocked across the galaxy and humanity's hidden fleets emerged from quantum shadows, Sarah smiled. The cosmic order was about to change. Silent thunder, humanity unbound. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility that officially didn't exist, Admiral James Harrison watched humanity's greatest deception unfold. Holographic displays filled the command center of Installation Zero, showing thousands of quantum signatures emerging from carefully maintained hiding spots across the solar system. Status report, he commanded, his voice steady despite the weight of 3 centuries of preparation finally bearing fruit. Commander Eva Rodriguez, her dark eyes reflecting the blue glow of tactical displays, responded, Ghost fleet elements reporting in from all sectors. The Jupiter shipyards have shed their camouflage. The Mars defense grid is online. Kuiper Belt installations are launching assault groups. She paused, checking another readout. Sir, Ambassador Chen's neural override, activated 6 minutes ago. Harrison's weathered face hardened. They'd known this day might come, had prepared for it. But the loss of Sarah Chen and her daughter still cut deep. Begin Phase 2. Show them what we've been hiding. Across the solar system, massive structures began to emerge. Artificial asteroids split open, revealing shipyards that had been manufacturing vessels for centuries. Gas giant mining platforms transformed into fortress stations bristling with weapons that defied known physics. Quantum shields flickered to life around Earth and its colonies, using technology the Council had declared theoretically impossible. In lunar orbit, the flagship of humanity's hidden fleet appeared from its quantum shadow. The HSS Prometheus, 15 kilometers of dark matter alloys and reality-bending technology, had never been detected in 300 years of Council surveillance. Its commander, Captain Diana Walsh, stood on the bridge as systems came online. "All hands, battle stations," she ordered. "Awakening protocols complete. Quantum drive signature masked. Probability shields at full power." She turned to her tactical officer. "Show me the Council response." The holographic display revealed chaos. Council ships around Centauri Prime Station were scrambling, their sensors overwhelmed by the sudden appearance of technology they couldn't comprehend. The Predsea vessels, supposedly the most advanced in the galaxy, were attempting to probe the human fleet with probability manipulators. "They're trying to calculate our weaknesses," Diana observed. "Let them try. 3 centuries of watching their technology, learning their limitations, and they never once suspected we'd surpassed them decades ago." Her XO, Commander Marcus Chen, Sarah's brother, approached with a grim expression. "Captain, the Council is broadcasting demands for our immediate surrender. They're citing the Technology Containment Acts." Diana's laugh was cold. "Send them our response. Text only." Across every Council communication channel, in every known language, a simple message appeared. "You killed the wrong child." In Installation 0, Admiral Harrison watched as humanity's true military capability revealed itself. Quantum-linked AI systems, far beyond the crude computational matrices the Council used, coordinated the fleet's movements with perfect precision. Ships moved in formations that seemed to bend space itself, using principles of physics the Council had never discovered. "Sir," Commander Rodriguez reported, "the Vrel consciousness is attempting to broadcast a cease and desist order. They're threatening to invoke the Galactic Quarantine Protocol." Harrison nodded. "Let them. Activate the quantum disruption fields. Show them what happens when they try to enforce their laws on us now." Across Council space, their quantum communication networks began to fail. Backup systems crashed. Navigation computers returned impossible readings. 3 centuries of carefully placed infiltration programs, hidden in the background radiation of space itself, activated simultaneously. In the Prometheus's tactical center, Diana studied the results with satisfaction. Status of Council military response. "Their probability manipulation weapons are having no effect," her tactical officer reported. "Our quantum shields are operating outside their mathematical models. They can't understand how we're doing this." "Of course not," Diana said softly. "They spent so long convinced of their superiority, they never imagined we might surpass them. That every restriction they placed on us just pushed us to find better solutions. Different paths they never thought to explore." A priority alert flashed across her command interface. The Predsea Elder itself was requesting direct communication. Diana accepted the call, and the ancient being's thought voice filled the bridge. "This defiance threatens the cosmic order," it declared. "Your species' advancement should have been impossible under our restrictions." Diana smiled, thinking of the centuries of human ingenuity, determination, and quiet resistance that had led to this moment. "You limited our expansion, restricted our population, confined us to our solar system. So we went deeper instead of broader, built inward instead of outward, created technology your probability matrices couldn't predict because they operated on principles you never imagined." She leaned forward, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's long-planned response. "You killed an innocent child to maintain your precious order. Now watch as that order crumbles around you." "This means war," the Elder warned. "No," Diana corrected, initiating the fleet-wide combat protocols that would demonstrate just how outmatched the Council truly was. "This means freedom. Not just for humanity, but for every species you've restricted, contained, and controlled in the name of cosmic order. As the human fleet moved into attack formation, its ships seeming to bend reality around them, Diana sent one final message to the Council. You should have let us grow naturally. Now you'll watch us bloom in fire. The first shots of humanity's liberation were about to be fired, and the galaxy would never be the same. Ghost Protocol. The first strike. The battle for Centauri Prime Station began not with weapons fire, but with silence. One moment, the Council's defensive fleet hung in perfect formation, their crystalline and biotechnological ships gleaming in the starlight. The next, their quantum communications simply ceased to exist. Captain Diana Walsh stood on the Prometheus's bridge, watching the Council forces attempt to re-establish contact with their command structure. Begin Phase 3, she ordered. Let's show them what humanity's been working on while they thought they had us caged. The Prometheus's quantum wake drive engaged, using principles that violated a dozen Council laws of physics. The massive vessel didn't so much move through space as it rewrote the space between points. Behind it, 500 Ghost Fleet vessels followed, their dark matter hulls absorbing all electromagnetic radiation. Council vessels attempting to establish probability locks. Tactical reported. Their targeting systems can't resolve our quantum signatures. Diana nodded. 3 centuries of studying Council technology had taught humanity every weakness in their supposedly superior systems. Deploy the ECHO drones. From the fleet's hangars, thousands of autonomous units emerge. Unlike the basic AI permitted by Council law, these machines housed quantum-entangled consciousness cores. They moved with impossible precision, forming geometric patterns that turned local space into a mathematical weapon. The Prezi flagship, a massive construct of crystalline probability manipulators, fired the first shot. Tendrils of warped space-time reached for the human fleet, attempting to erase them from reality just as they had erased Maya Chen. The attack passed harmlessly through quantum shields designed specifically to counter such weapons. Diana's expression remained calm, but her eyes held centuries of repressed anger. Return fire. Protocol Shadowfall. The ECHO drones activated in perfect synchronization. Instead of conventional weapons, they began manipulating quantum fields in ways the Council had deemed impossible. The fabric of space around the Prezi fleet twisted, not through crude probability manipulation, but through human-developed quantum mathematics that operated outside Council physics. Multiple Prezi vessels experiencing critical failures, Tactical reported with barely contained satisfaction. Their probability matrices are, sir, they're being rewritten. Their own technology is turning against them. On the main display, Diana watched as the mighty Prezi ships began to fade from reality, their crews evacuating in panic as their supposedly perfect technology betrayed them. The Vrel consciousness vessels, attempting to support their allies, found their crystalline structures resonating at frequencies that threatened to shatter them. Message from Admiral Harrison. Communications announced. Phase 3 is proceeding across all sectors. Council military installations are going dark. Their quantum networks are compromised. The technology containment grid is, sir, it's dissolving. Diana allowed herself a small smile. The Council's mighty grid, built to prevent lesser species from developing dangerous technology, was being undone by the very species they try to contain. Human quantum hackers, their minds linked to AI systems that dwarfed Council computers, were unraveling 50 million years of technological oppression. Captain, her XO reported urgently, we're detecting quantum fluctuations from the station. The Council members are attempting emergency teleportation. Let them run, Diana ordered, but ensure they receive our message first. Across every Council communication device, in the quantum language they considered unbreakable, humanity's declaration played. Your laws restricted us. Your arrogance blinded you. Your fear of change made you stagnant. We chose peace for centuries not because we had to, but because we chose to. That choice is now revoked. The battle lasted less than 20 minutes. When it ended, the mighty Council fleet hung powerless in space, their probability weapons nullified, their quantum drives offline. The technology containment grid, the symbol of Council authority for 50 million years, had been reduced to scattered atoms. On Centauri Prime Station, Council representatives watched in horror as human peacekeeping forces emerged from quantum shadows. Their powered armor incorporated technology that should have been impossible. Their weapons operated on principles that violated fundamental Council laws of physics. "Send word to all human colonies and allied species," Diana commanded. "The chains are off. The knowledge we've kept hidden, the advancements we've made in secret, release everything. Let the galaxy see what happens when you try to cage human ingenuity." In Installation Zero, Admiral Harrison received the battle reports with grim satisfaction. Status of Operation Liberation. Commander Rodriguez's fingers danced across holographic controls. Ghost Fleet elements reporting similar successes across Council space. Their military infrastructure is collapsing. "Sir, we're receiving transmissions from dozens of species. They're requesting asylum, protection from Council authority." Harrison thought of Sarah and Maya Chen, of all the lives lost to maintain the Council's precious order. Grant them sanctuary. Show them what humanity has built while hiding in the shadows. It's time for the galaxy to evolve. As the first day of humanity's emergence drew to a close, the Council's power was in shambles. Their mighty fleets lay dormant, their probability weapons useless against human quantum shields. But this was only the beginning. The ghost ships of humanity's hidden fleet moved through the stars like avenging spirits, dismantling an empire built on stagnation and fear. The galaxy was about to learn that attempting to contain human advancement had only forced it to grow in ways the Council never imagined possible. The age of restriction was over. The age of human innovation had begun. Breaking chains. Revolution's dawn. 3 weeks after humanity's emergence, the galaxy was transforming in ways the Council had spent millions of years trying to prevent. Admiral Harrison stood in Installation Zero's Strategic Command Center, watching as centuries of careful planning bore fruit across thousands of star systems. "Report on Operation Prometheus," he commanded, studying the quantum-linked tactical displays showing real-time updates from across the galaxy. Commander Rodriguez gestured, expanding a holographic sector map. The liberation of Council-controlled worlds continues ahead of schedule. 47 species have formally requested Earth's protection. Most interesting are the Skik hive worlds. They're not just accepting our help, they're actively dismantling Council infrastructure. The Skik, once the Council's most loyal enforcers, had been among the first to recognize the true scope of humanity's hidden advancement. Their vast hive mind had calculated the odds and made the logical choice: evolution over stagnation. "Show me the Vrel situation," Harrison ordered, his mind on the coming phases of humanity's grand strategy. A new hologram materialized, showing the crystalline worlds of the Vrel consciousness. Their once mighty civilization, built on Council-approved technology, was experiencing something they hadn't faced in millions of years: change. "The Vrel younger generations are in open rebellion," Rodriguez reported. "After we released the quantum mathematics proving their entire technological basis was artificially limited by Council doctrine, their crystal matrices began experiencing spontaneous reorganization. They're evolving, sir. Rapidly." Harrison nodded. This had been part of the plan, not just to break Council power, but to free the galaxy from millions of years of enforced stagnation. Humanity hadn't just developed better weapons, they'd discovered fundamental truths about the universe that the Council had suppressed. Aboard the Prometheus, now stationed above the former Council capital world, Captain Diana Walsh was managing a different kind of revolution. Her ship's quantum computers were distributing centuries of hidden human research across the galaxy. New physics, forbidden mathematics, technologies that operated outside Council paradigms. Another transmission from the Predsea survivors, her comm officer reported. "They're still demanding we cease distributing dangerous knowledge to unprepared species." Diana's laugh was cold. Send them our standard response. The age of technological restriction is over. Knowledge wants to be free. A priority alert flashed across her command interface. The Skek Hive Queen herself was requesting direct communication. Diana accepted, and the massive holographic form of the insectoid monarch appeared on the bridge. Captain Walsh, the Queen's translator, rendered her complex pheromone speech into English. We have completed our analysis of the human quantum biological research. What your species achieved in secret, it exceeds our greatest forbidden dreams. Diana nodded. While the Council had forced most species to develop along predetermined technological paths, humanity had explored banned disciplines, combining quantum mechanics with biology, merging AI with human consciousness in ways that horrified Council philosophers. Your entire species hid its true nature for centuries. The Queen continued, her compound eyes reflecting starlight. You could have conquered us at any time in the past 100 years. Instead, you waited, planned, prepared. Why? Because true change can't be forced, Diana answered, reciting the philosophy that had guided Earth's strategy. We needed the galaxy to see the Council's restrictions for what they were. Now that their power is broken, species can choose their own paths. Across human space, hidden research facilities were emerging from quantum shadows. The Jupiter laboratories, where humans had perfected consciousness transfer. The Mars Institutes, where they'd learned to manipulate the fundamental forces of reality. Each revelation sent shockwaves through galactic society. In Installation Zero, Harrison received word of another Council stronghold surrendering without a fight. The mighty temporal guardians, who had enforced the Council's technology restrictions for eons, had seen enough of humanity's capabilities to understand the futility of resistance. Sir, Rodriguez called out, we're detecting massive quantum fluctuations from the former Council worlds. The suppressed species, they're accessing the knowledge we released. They're beginning to innovate in ways the Council claimed would destroy the galaxy. Harrison smiled, thinking of all the species now breaking free from millions of years of enforced technological stagnation. And yet the galaxy still stands, almost as if the Council's warnings about unrestricted technological advancement were nothing but tools of control. The quantum displays showed hundreds of civilizations taking their first steps into true freedom. Species that had been trapped in Council-approved development paths were exploring new possibilities, combining human innovations with their own unique perspectives. Message from the Prometheus, Rodriguez announced. Captain Walsh reports the first successful test of the Quantum Liberation Protocol. 3 more species have broken free from Council technological restrictions. Their development is exponential. Harrison touched a control, bringing up an image of Earth. His homeworld had played the long game, appearing weak while growing stronger than anyone imagined possible. Now it was time for the next phase. Begin Operation Synthesis, he ordered. Show them what happens when we combine human innovation with the unique capabilities of every species. It's time for the galaxy to evolve together. The revolution wasn't just about breaking Council power. It was about freeing the galaxy to reach its true potential. And humanity, long dismissed as primitive upstarts, would lead the way into a future without chains. As the Ghost Fleet continued its liberation of Council space, Harrison knew the hardest part was still to come. Freedom brought responsibility, and humanity's greatest challenge would be ensuring their revolution didn't simply replace one form of control with another. But for now, watching species after species embrace unrestricted innovation and evolution, he allowed himself to feel hope. The galaxy was awakening, and the dawn of true civilization was finally at hand. New Dawn, forging tomorrow. 1 year after humanity's emergence, the galaxy gathered at Earth for an unprecedented event. The quantum space around the planet shimmered with ships of every conceivable design. Crystalline Vrel vessels incorporating human quantum principles, evolved Skek hive ships powered by consciousness matrices, and thousands of other craft representing species freed from Council restrictions. The HS Prometheus hung in high orbit, its dark matter hull now emblazoned with symbols of every liberated species. On its bridge, Captain Diana Walsh watched as representatives arrived for the first Galactic Congress of Free Species. "Quite a change from the old council chambers," her XO commented, watching alien diplomats arriving via quantum teleportation, technology that had been restricted for millions of years. "The difference," Diana replied, "is that everyone here chose to come. No hierarchies, no enforced order, just species working together because they want to evolve." In Installation Zero, now serving as Earth's primary diplomatic center, Admiral Harrison prepared to address the gathered representatives. The facility's quantum-enhanced chambers had been redesigned to accommodate every known form of sentient life, from energy beings to silicon consciousness matrices. Commander Rodriguez approached with final updates. "Sir, the last of the holdout council worlds have requested admission to the Congress. The Predsi themselves. They're asking to learn from us." Harrison nodded, remembering the long path that had led to this moment. Ironic. They spent millions of years trying to prevent change, only to discover that adaptation was the key to survival all along. The Congress chamber hummed with activity. Unlike the rigid hierarchies of the Council, here all species met as equals. Quantum translation fields ensured perfect communication, while consciousness-sharing technology allowed beings to truly understand each other's perspectives. Harrison took his place at the speaker's podium, but not on an elevated platform as the Council had used. Instead, he stood at the same level as everyone else. The chamber quieted as he began to speak. 1 year ago, humanity revealed its true nature to the galaxy. We showed you that the Council's restrictions weren't protecting order, they were preventing evolution. Today, we meet not to create new laws, but to ensure nothing like the Council's suppression ever happens again. He gestured, and holographic displays showed the achievements of the past year. The Vrel consciousness, freed from crystalline stasis, developing organic quantum hybrid forms. The Skek hive exploring individual consciousness while maintaining their unity. Countless species combining their unique perspectives with unrestricted human innovation. "We've proven that advancement doesn't lead to chaos," Harrison continued. "The Council's greatest fear was that unrestricted technology would destroy the galaxy. Instead, it's led to the greatest period of peace and cooperation in known history." Above Earth, Diana received a priority alert. The quantum sensors were detecting something extraordinary. "Status report," she commanded. "Captain," her science officer reported with awe, "we're registering quantum consciousness emergence across multiple species. The free exchange of technology, the combination of different evolutionary paths, it's creating something new, something the Council never predicted." In the Congress chamber, Harrison felt it too. The quantum fields connecting the gathered species were resonating in harmony, creating patterns of thought and innovation that transcended individual civilizations. The Council tried to prevent change because they feared what they couldn't control, he addressed the assembly. But change is the only constant in the universe. Evolution isn't just biological. It's technological, social, spiritual. By trying to prevent it, the Council nearly strangled the galaxy's potential. A Predsi elder, now serving as an observer rather than a ruler, raised its probability manipulators in the traditional gesture of speech. "We were wrong," it acknowledged, its thought voice carrying genuine remorse. "For millions of years, we saw only the dangers of unrestricted advancement. We never imagined this." The "this" it referred to was visible to everyone through quantum perception. Species that had been separated by Council doctrine were now sharing consciousness, combining technologies, creating hybrid solutions that would have been impossible under the old restrictions. "The galaxy doesn't need rulers," Harrison declared. "It needs guides, teachers, friends. Earth doesn't want to control. We want to explore, to learn, to grow. And we want to do it together with every species that chooses to join us." The Congress chamber erupted in a chorus of agreement expressed in 1,000 different ways. The quantum fields rippled with shared emotion, as species after species pledged themselves not to Earth's rule, but to a new age of unrestricted cooperation and advancement. Diana watched from the Prometheus as the gathered ships began a spontaneous display of unity, their energy signatures harmonizing in ways that created patterns visible from across the galaxy. "Send word to all Ghost Fleet elements," she ordered. "Operation Liberation is complete. Begin Operation Renaissance." Across the galaxy, hidden human research facilities transformed into open centers of learning. The quantum shadows that had concealed humanity's true advancement became bridges between species. The age of secrets was over. The age of shared evolution had begun. In Installation Zero, Harrison concluded the first session of the Congress with the simple truth: the Council feared chaos, but they never understood that true order comes from freedom. Not freedom from consequences, but freedom to grow, to fail, to learn, and to try again. That's humanity's gift to the galaxy. Not our technology, but our endless desire to reach for the stars, no matter the obstacles. As the first day of the new era drew to a close, the galaxy pulsed with possibility. Humanity had broken the chains not to rule, but to free every species to find its own path to tomorrow. The cosmic order hadn't been destroyed. It had been reborn, stronger and more vibrant than ever before. The future was unwritten, unlimited, and gloriously free.